Long ago, beside a broad river that shimmered like scattered gold, stood the town of Hamelin. Its people called themselves prosperous and wise. Their houses were stout, their markets were loud, and they were proud of their full bellies and heavy purses. But beneath the clatter of coin and the chatter of trade, Hamelin hid an ugly truth. It was a town ruled by greed. Then, the rats came. They poured from the riverbanks and cellars like a living shadow, a great tide of filth and hunger. They gnawed through the grain stores, fouled the clean water, and nested in cradles and bread bins alike. Traps snapped empty. Cats vanished into the night. Prayers seemed to go unanswered. Desperation crept through the once proud streets like a sickness. On a gray morning, when hope was nearly gone, a stranger arrived. He wore patchwork clothes stitched in a rainbow of colors, all faded by time and travel. His boots were worn thin, and his face was a mask impossible to read. Slung across his back was a simple pipe, but it was carved with strange symbols that shimmered faintly in the weak light, as if they remembered ancient, powerful songs. He stood before the mayor and the town council, his voice quiet but clear. "I can rid your town of rats," he said, "if you will pay me in gold." The mayor, a man whose wealth was matched only by his arrogance, first laughed, then quickly nodded. Gold was promised more than the piper had even asked for. Oaths were spoken before witnesses in the main square. The town bells rang out, sealing the agreement. At dawn the next day, the piper stood alone in the square and lifted the pipe to his lips. The melody he played was sharp and piercing, a strange, compelling sound that seemed to burrow into bone and command the will. And from every crack, every drain, and every gutter, the rats emerged. First hundreds, then thousands, their eyes glassy, their bodies twitching in time with the music. They followed the piper in a single, writhing river of fur and tails, a horrifying parade that snaked through the streets and straight toward the wide, deep river. They plunged into the current without hesitation and vanished beneath the water, never to rise again. Hamelin rejoiced. Feasts were declared, songs were sung, and the town celebrated its deliverance. But when the piper returned for his promised payment, the mayor's celebratory smile hardened into a sneer. "Your trick was simple," he said, his voice dripping with disdain. "A little tune, a bit of luck. You will take a fraction of what was promised, or you will take nothing at all." The councilmen around him nodded in smug agreement. The piper did not shout. He did not plead or argue. He simply looked at the mayor, a profound disappointment in his eyes. He nodded once, a slow, deliberate motion, and left the town hall without another word. That night, the harvest moon rose full and pale, its light turning the river into a silver blade. As the town slept, content in its greed, the piper returned. He stood once more in the silent square, but this time, the melody he played was different. It was soft, gentle, and filled with an unbearable ache. It was a tune woven from longing and wonder, like the half-forgotten memory of a lullaby your mother sang to you as a child. Slowly, windows creaked open. Doors unlocked themselves, and one by one the children of Hamelin rose from their beds. Their eyes shone as if they held captured stars inside them. They followed the enchanting music through the silent streets, their laughter soft, their bare feet silent on the cold stone. They were drawn by a promise of a land without chores, without scolding, a land of endless play, all but one. A young boy named Matthias woke too late. His leg, twisted since birth, would not carry him fast enough. He hobbled as quickly as he could, his heart pounding with a desperate need to join them. He reached the town gate just in time to see the last of the children disappearing toward the great mountain that loomed over Hamelin, the piper's colorful coat flickering like a fading dream at the head of the procession. Then the mountain opened. A dark cleft appeared in the solid rock, a doorway into the earth itself. It swallowed the children and the piper whole. Just as quickly, the stone slid shut, leaving no trace of the opening. The music stopped. The world was utterly silent. The town of Hamelin awoke the next morning to an emptiness more terrifying than any plague of rats. It awoke to horror. Years passed. The silence in Hamelin never truly lifted. Matthias grew into a man, his limp a constant reminder of the night he was left behind. He carried a heavy heart filled with the ghosts of his lost friends. He eventually became the mayor, not for wealth or power, but as a form of penance. He took a chisel and carved the names of the lost children into the church wall, letter by letter, until his hands bled. He banned all music and dancing in the streets. He taught every new generation the same hard lesson: promises are not wind, they are solid things. They shape the world. On quiet nights, when the moon was high and full, Matthias would stand at his window and listen. He could still hear it, or thought he could, the faint, ghostly echo of a pipe drifting from the impassive face of the mountain. It was never closer, never farther, a permanent scar on the silence. Until one evening, many years later, when he was an old man, his own grandchild stood at the door, head tilted, listening. "Grandfather," the child whispered, her eyes wide with curiosity. "Do you hear it?" The melody had returned. It was faint, but it was unmistakably there. Matthias felt the old ache rise in his chest, a mix of sorrow and a strange, unbidden hope. The mountain waited. The past was calling. He looked at the child, then back toward the dark shape of the mountain. He took his grandchild's hand, his grip firm and steady. And he turned back toward the town, not away from the music, but toward the future. Some debts, he knew, could never truly be repaid. But some could be remembered, their stories told and retold, so that they were never owed again. And far away, deep in the heart of the stone, the pipe fell silent once more. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more tales that explore the depths of our shared history and humanity. See you next time!